YouTube, Macintosh Inc. I said I was going to come here and go ahead and give my testimony. So, without no further ado, I know it's been about 2 months back that I said I was going to do this, maybe even longer, but here it is. Okay. At the age of 6, close to, like, I believe it was in December, really, that all this started to go down. Basically, what happened is at my church, they um, obviously they do altar calls and stuff for young people, and just who wants to receive Jesus Christ into their heart. If God wants to be a friend. They I mean they talked about the crucifixion, but they didn't really go into details about what he did. They just said he died for you, and if you'll believe in him, he'll come into your heart, and then he'll be your friend. Well, at a young age, I just knew that there was something not right with me. Um, I remember to this day this one incident that really led me to believe that I was a bad child. There wasn't anything that anybody said to me. It was just I stole a piece of chocolate that was in the fridge. I just took off a small piece and I ate it. But when I ate it, I just knew in my head and in my heart that there was something that I did that was not right. And that one thing made me a bad person. Not like, bad like, like I never did any good stuff, but there was something that said, there was something bad that was implanted in me in that day that I knew what was the right thing to do, but I still chose to do that. So every Sunday when I heard that altar call, I would raise my hand and I would talk about, I'm sorry, Jesus, I'm a bad person. Please save me from my sins. Please, Lord Jesus. And I remember the teachers used to always say, oh, you don't have to do this. Now this was going on for a while. I said it was probably in December, but it started actually before that because I used to go up there like every Sunday. I mean, to the point where the teachers, I think, even spoke to my parents about, hey, your child keeps coming down. Maybe you need to explain to him about salvation and how he only has to do it once, and that Jesus saves him from sins. And they just stopped. Eventually, they just stopped talking to me. I just kept coming down. They were like, "Well, why do you keep coming down?" I was like, "I need to come down because I'm a bad person, and only Jesus can save me." And I mean, it was a good thing that I was asking, but at the same time, they didn't know exactly what I was talking about. So for them, I think it was a little bit confusing because they went about it the right way, just kind of teaching you how to be saved. But for some reason, there was something in me that just knew that I needed more. I didn't just need like oh yes, okay, bless your child, you're good, and then that was good, and just forget about it. I needed something different. I needed that touch from God. Well, the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Well, actually, this actually happened the night before Christmas Day, and I went to sleep. And then the sleep, basically, what happened when I went to sleep is I had a dream, three dreams actually. But the first dream, I was asleep and there was like this parade going on, and the streets were kind of like rock streets, so it was unique to me, but at the same time, I just really didn't recognize what the difference was. So I go out and I try to get to the front, to kind of see the parade, but there's people standing in my way. So I was young, I was small, I could just crawl underneath their legs. So I just said, hey, they're all standing up, let me just crawl underneath, sit at the curb, and see what's going on. I noticed that the crowd was getting closer, and it was like the cheers was starting to get louder. And then when it got closer, I realized those aren't cheers. Those are like I can hear like curse words and swear remarks and different types of things that made me led me to believe that hey, something bad. It's like a riot that's coming towards me. So I stuck around and just kind of seeing what's going on. And I see this guy and he's carrying this cross, and as he's walking towards me, people like jump out of the walkways and start like spitting on him, throwing rocks in his face, hitting him. Like, I mean, the guy was already beaten up as it was, and I remember thinking in my head, this guy must have did something really bad for these people to really do what they're doing to him. I mean, it just it's like cause and effect. I just knew that there must have been something he did beforehand that led to this. Well, as he got pretty close, there was a guy that was standing next to me that just ran out and full force socked him right in the face. I mean, it got him good. This dude, it got him so good that this guy like literally got almost knocked out. Like he just by the blow and everything, he fell out and he landed right in front of me. And I remember looking at him as he just barely had enough strength to catch himself before he like went cold face to floor. And he was sitting there for a little bit, and then like he turned and he looked straight into my eyes, and one eye was this eye actually, which is his left side because it was close to the ground, was all swollen. I mean, the his eyelid was so swollen, like it closed shut, and his face just looked so dismantled from all the beatings and stuff. You couldn't tell he was a normal looking guy. Like he was just so swollen all over. And his right eye was the one that caught my attention, and it looked straight at me. And in his eye, you can see there is still blood because from all the beatings and stuff, and also just from the trauma to his eyeball itself, like the white parts of his eye was all red. But when I looked into his pupils, when I looked into his eyes, I saw what I can only describe as eternity because I saw like stars and space, like I saw an infinite, no end in his eyes, and I just started crying. I mean, I was tears just streaming down my face. I was just crying because when they picked him up and they started dragging him because he wasn't strong enough to actually walk, I remember thinking to myself, what? Why are they doing this to this man? He did not deserve it. This man was a beautiful man, and they did all this stuff to him. And I just was crying and crying, crying for the man, crying for the things that was done, just crying, crying. And I remember like the dream just kind of transported me right then that position to all of a sudden I'm in the fetal position and I'm sitting on top of this hill watching this man get crucified. The dream ended when he died. I didn't hear him say anything, but when he died, the sky turned black and there was a huge earthquake. And when I woke up, my whole face was full of tears, and my pillowcase was wet just from the tears that I was crying was just soaking wet. I remember I got up and I was still crying, just weeping, crying, and it was like if somebody injected me with like some kind of sleeping injection because I went from being up crying to like just passing out from whatever. And I had another dream. And in the second dream, I'm on the school bus going to school, and the sky turns black. The moon starts to bleed, and the sun disappears. Next thing I know, we all look up into the sky, and there's like these fireballs that start just shooting out from these black clouds in the sky, and they shooting out and they hitting people as they're standing around outside and stuff, and it's drilling through the bus station, or sorry, the bus, and it's just hitting like the kids in the bus. And if I started paying attention, I realized that these aren't just some random fireballs from the sky. These are actually like they are going after people. Like each fireball had a specific person. That person had his fireball, and it was going to hit them. And so it was just hitting these people, and everyone got incinerated. It was like boom, and like there was nothing left. No shoes, no clothing, no fire. Even there was just like no smoke. It was just once it touched them, that was it. It was whoop, and it's gone. And I just remember like, what in the world's going on? I'm sweating because the heat and everything like that, and I'm in the bus, but I'm the last one left. and I see this one fireball come out from the sky. Now the bus is all trashed as it is because all these fireballs keep coming through it. So I ran out through half of the bus that was kind of torn apart. And I start running away thinking it's going to hit the spot where I was sitting. Because, I mean, nobody else was smart enough to start running. Everyone was just kind of standing there looking at the thing because it hit everybody almost simultaneously at the same time. There was like a whole lot of, oh my gosh, it's killing people or whatever. It was just like, what's going on? And then fireballs, boom, and done. So I ran away from the bus and it looked like it was gonna hit the bus and just kind of miss, but it went like it was gonna hit and just went straight down, and all of a sudden it went whoop right into my face. And when that happened, like pretty much I wake up and my whole body is sweating from the heat. It's sweating from just the whole everything that happened in the whole dream. I mean I was blazing hot too. Like I threw the sheets off me and I woke up again in full sweat and I was just like, what is going on? And it was the same thing again, injection, um, sleep, whatever. And I just wake up and I'm right back to sleep again. In the next dream, I dream that I wake up. This is a dream. I dream I wake up and my parents are all gone. My brother is gone. Like I ran out. I ran out to the um, Christmas tree because it's time to open presents and nobody's there. Like I waited for a while, no one's there. Started looking for them. They're gone. So what I did is I walk outside because okay, this has happened before. Okay, I've slept through earthquakes, like pretty big earthquakes, to the point where everyone's outside, and I'm like, oh my bad, let me go outside too. Um, and I just figured that this is one of those moments. So I get outside, and there's this long line of people, and they're all heading. It's funny how God uses certain things so that you understand exactly what the dream or even what He's talking about. So He uses things that you understand to make push the point across. So what I saw in the dream was like these little Star Trek discs on the ground and light that was shining on top of it, and obviously Star Trek, you get a little portal thing, and then and you're gone, right? You go up, or you disappear to wherever. But everyone, like, there was people who would get on it, and they'd be transported, and there were people who would get on it, and then they would be like, sorry, so you gotta step aside. So I thought all the people that stepped aside didn't have their ticket paid for or whatever. They didn't pay, or their family didn't, or they didn't pay for the price to go wherever they were going. Like as if, like my family, I believe, my dad and mom paid for me to go on this trip that they're going because they're all in line and stuff, and my brother and sister were as well. So I figured I'd just get in line and go with them. And I was like, well, I guess they didn't pay. So, we get in line. My family goes. A couple people go. A couple people have to stay. And then it comes to me. It goes to try and suck me up. And then it's almost like I was too heavy. There was something weighing me down that it couldn't suck me up. And I heard a voice say, um, "Sorry, sir, you're gonna have to step to sorry, son, you're gonna have to step to the side." And I was like, "No, what are you talking about? My parents, my family, all my family members, they just went up the thing. I saw them go, and I'm supposed to be with my family." And the voice again said, "Sorry, son, you're gonna have to step aside." Well, at this point, I'm young, I'm stubborn, I'm adamant. No, I ain't moving. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going with my family. Well, the disc that was underneath my legs just moved, shifted off to the next person. Started sucking people up. Whoever left went. And then when it was done with everybody, there was two people standing beside it, two gentlemen standing beside it. And when it was done, the two gentlemen and the portal disappeared. That was it. People were like running around talking what went on, what's happening, what's going on, what's going to happen next. And right then, like as fear was starting to grip people and people were crying and stuff, I saw Darth Vader jump off from uh, on top of this car structure thing, so everyone could see him. And he stood up on top of it, and he looked straight at me and he said, "You're mine for all eternity." Well, I woke up in utter fear because I knew that was the devil. And I knew that what Jesus had done when he died is He paid the price for me to go so I can be with my family when they go. And when I go, I could be with them. So I just remember leaning down and said, Jesus, thank you for paying the price for me to go. Forgive me of my sins. I'm a bad person. Make me clean. And I remember when I woke up that next morning, the sun was brighter. The I just remember I didn't even pay attention to the fact that it was Christmas Day. I just ran straight outside to see what was going on, and there was no one outside, but the sun was brighter than it had ever been in my entire life up until that point. And I knew then that something changed. It was like this shaded scale on my eyes was just removed. And finally, for the first time, I was able to see things clearly. And ever since then, like God has just been on this thing of just showing me how good He's been and how much His provision is for everybody. So if this in any way speaks to you, you can say just a small, simple prayer of just believing that Jesus Christ is Lord, that He came, He died, He was buried, and He rose again on the third day. And by believing that, you will be saved. Ask Him for forgiveness to forgive you of your sins, and it's done. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's not like this big, huge hoopla that a lot of people make it into. It ain't none of that. So, if you have any questions, you can hit me up with comments. I'm gonna hit you up with again a 10-month update on my dreadlocks, and then that's out. That's it, man. So if this speaks to you, you can like it. If you don't like it, you can not like it. Look, it is what it is. It is my testimony. Like I said, it's my testimony. You can't really be mad at what God has done in my life. But if you're like, well, how do I know you're making this up? You don't. It's faith. That's what faith is. I believe because of faith that I needed a savior, that I needed somebody to forgive me of my sins and my wrongdoing, and that faith causes to happen. Now, if you don't believe that this is true, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can believe it, take it by faith, and I guarantee you, if you say, God, I need you to be real for me, not because I need you to do this so that I can believe in you, or God, if you speak to me in an audible voice, and then I'll believe you. It's none of that. It's just saying, God, I want to know that you want me, that you want to be made known real to me. And He will show Himself in either a dream, in some kind of form or vision, or just He'll show you with just peace. You'll feel like maybe this sensation just rattle through your whole body, kind of like goosebumps. You'll feel like just some weird sensation, heat, coolness, whatever. There'll just be a confirmation that God is and He wants to reveal Himself to you. So, YouTube, I'm out. I think this is probably going to be too long, so hopefully it makes it. If not, I might cut it into two, or I might just cut this video down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. So, like, comment, subscribe, or dislike, whatever you want, and check out my next videos. All right.